Yeah, this is definitely not my best job. The last couple of cuts I haven't lined up quite well at all. This one being no exception. So I didn't help myself by having a lot more hinge on the right side. But it should go. All right, here's another, I don't know, 22, 24 inch tree. There's a little cherry tree that's kind of entangled with it. So I have to get that out of there first, right? And then I'm gonna send this one right down there. Should be no problem. But first thing I have to do is untangle the one tree, make myself a workspace, and then we can go after that one. So I'll set the camera over here. See, these are easy trees to fell. These ones, like this, you know. The woods is kind of open, and Well, I think this is another log that I'm going to get decent money out of, but I can tell from where the branches go into it, I probably should have taken this one 20 years ago too. Yet another very, very, very old tree. See if I can show you. Two things give you a clue to that. One is how tight those rings are together, and the second is the cauliflower look it gets at the bottom. I don't know if this is going to show it. Those rings are real tight. But straight log, two nice logs. You know, those are going to get me some good money. That one over there, yeah, it'll be all right. All right, this is a very large base, but you can see it presents a dilemma. If you look at it closely, you'll see a crack propagating up. So, you got to be careful on trees like this. You just simply don't know where they're going to go. You know, when they're going to break, and they might crumble at the base and come back at you. Not fall back, but basically crumble and pile drive back at you. So they make me nervous. Bore cutting's going to happen, lots of it. But I'm going to basically let it go the way the natural fall is, which is right this way. And that tree is in the way, and that's another nice tree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take both of those, even though that one's a little small, and that one right next to it, just put them both down, and then drop the other tree right on top of it. This one's going to require a little bit of wedging, is my guess. So I'll do my face cut, bore cut from the side, not from the front. You don't have to bore cut the front of most of these more brittle maple trees. They simply will break clean, so I don't have to do that. That bore from the front into the face cut, leaving or taking away a third of the hinge, that's usually reserved for ash, hickory. Sometimes maples are stringy, but most of the time they're not. These are brittle. They're just breaking. So, I mean, I don't even have to have a big face. I can get away with a 45, and the hinge breaks nice and clean. So, a lot of the stuff that I had to do last year on the stringier trees, I'm not having to do with these. They're just simple, basic cut, drop. Of course, I'm doing the bore cut trigger wood method because it's what I do. But anyway, let me see if I can lay this one right there. Watch it come. You got a big widowmaker up there that's waiting to come down. And I'll let that sit for a little bit before I go down in there. See, that's where I probably should have bore cut. See that one there, how it pulled way up in there? I just finished telling you that I probably didn't have to because of the trees, you know, of this nature have been brittle. But look at that. That pulled up 1.5 feet. So I guess I'm going to have to go back to bore cutting the hearts out because I just lost that much log. Of course, it has center rot, so it's not as bad as it looks because I was losing some of that anyway. But just to make a point, that's why I do the bore cut from the center of the hinge and push it back into the heartwood of the tree, is to avoid that right there. But let me go down in there, and I think that stopped moving. Let's see if I can't get the tree cut out. That'll give you an idea how big that tree is. But it's also got a bad heart. So I'm going to try to make it go over there, which is going to be a little bit of a stretch. It wants to go more to the right hand side, but I'm going to see if I can just throw right in that pile. The question is, when you have that kind of heart, is what do you use for hinges? And I'm going to gamble that there's hinge material in that root flare. Now I won't know for sure until I get into it, obviously. Out of gas. Alright, I guess I better go fill up. Well, one thing I can say is not only did it run out of gas, but it's running out of oil at the same time. So maybe I shouldn't be quite so harsh on it in terms of fuel usage, because that kind of 1-to-1 is sort of rule of thumb how a saw should be. But maybe it's just because it's a smaller saw. But I'm actually not getting as much cut time as the G395, and part of it's because of the tank size, I'm sure. G95 has got a bigger tank, but part of it is, for whatever reason, that G395 just is running very, very well, you know, very efficiently. So much for the trash talk on those saws. It's proving its worth. So I'm going to continue whittling on this and seeing if I can't get a hinge out of that. And just hoping, you know, I'm going to finish the bottom cut, and then I'm going to cut straight across. I don't really need much of an angle on these. Well, I may have been proven wrong in that last tree, but to this point they feel brittle. But on this tree it honestly doesn't matter, because if you look above, it's got that hollow section, so it doesn't matter if it pulls or not. So I'm not sure I'm going to waste the time. You feel fire. You run out of fuel like that sometimes. You know, you need to prime it and all that stuff. Yeah, it did. Ugh. Well, that's a lot of hollow wood there. I'm not sure how much I can salvage out of that tree, but it needed to come down regardless, taking up all that canopy. So let me go cut the top out, and maybe I'll work on that butt log just a little bit to see how much good wood's in there. Go up about 6 feet, cut that off, and call that a day. Getting tired. So change it back to low resolution. Yeah, this one here is a heavy leaner. I gotta take out a couple little ones, but I'm gonna send it right down there. I see a bunch down in there that need to come out. I haven't been over here in a long time, but geez, I got more than a load right in this section of woods right here. But as of now, I've got 10 on the ground total. My aim is for 20, but with what I'm seeing right now, I might go to 30, and they're big enough that it might actually pay off. A lot of these are just big trees. See, I don't get down in here often because it's usually wet, really wet. So anyway, let me drop this one. Shouldn't be too hard. I'll just run the saw out of gas and then call it a night. See, every time I say it shouldn't be hard, that's when I got to be careful, right? Isn't that the way it always works? So.
Mama.